For more incredible action figures and collectibles, including the one seen in this review, check out Lindsay's Toy Room at www.lindsays.toyroom.com. Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the NECA Bioshock Infinite Heavy Hitter, the George Washington Patriot. This thing is mind-blowingly incredible. And just to give you kind of a quick idea of how big this figure is, here is the Patriot next to one of the Boys of Silence. Yeah, the thing is massive. And honestly, that is the only thing that I have found wrong with this figure, is that, and it's not even something that I found wrong with it, it's just this figure is massive. It takes up a lot of room on display, but it is beautiful. Tons of articulation, really, really nice detailing on this guy, and it is just incredibly well done. So far, this is the best figure from the Bioshock Infinite line. I picked this guy up at Lindsay's Toy Room at lindsays.toyroom.com for $30 plus shipping and handling, and they actually just stocked a whole bunch more of these. So for $30, normally this seems to be going for about $40 to $45 most places. So $30 is a great price. So I would definitely, if you're interested in this figure, check out Lindsay's Toy Room to order this guy. But anyways, jumping into the actual detailing and articulation on this figure, it is just loaded with all sorts of articulation. Stuff that I wouldn't think that they would necessarily include with a figure of this size. I figured that they'd do basic, shoulder, elbow, the wrist, head, stuff like that. But honestly, this guy, oh, there is still a plastic tag wrapped around here. Let me rip that off. There we go. He has a couple different accessories. He comes with his kind of Gatling gun here, which is just beautifully detailed. Really love the design of this. It is fairly fragile, so you want to be careful with it getting it out of the box, specifically this handle, but I'll show you why in a second here. Has a flap that opens up there at the top so you can kind of see the ammo, and it's actually, if you crank the side there, it actually does have the rotating action, which is really cool. Looks very, very nice on display. And for the actual figure, it has an additional head. If you're familiar with the character in the game, it has this sort of porcelain mask for the George Washington face. And then after you do some damage to it, you reveal this sort of animatronic head that is underneath the porcelain face there. As you can see, it's kind of missing an eye there. It's got some wear on the jaw. You can kind of see the vent from where it all the audio comes out when it's taunting you with different presidential quotes. Very, very cool. Pops in the neck with a ball joint right there. And now for the figure's articulation. Like I said, this guy is just jam-packed with articulation. One of the things that I do want to caution you with is that the joints that are exposed, these big plastic, the ones that look like the sort of bronzed metal for the legs and for the arm, these have some, it's a kind of a ratcheting action to the actual joint. So you have to be kind of careful with that. If you take like a hair dryer and kind of heat up the joints, it makes it a little easier to articulate the joints. But overall, it's pretty nice that you can get it to latch into place, but it is very tough to sort of articulate these joints, so you want to be careful with that so you don't put too much pressure on it and snap it. So looking at the overall articulation, has articulation in the ankles. Right above the knee, you can actually rotate the boot, and then you have the upper hip, the knee, like that. I will note that they do have the peg holes on the bottom, so if this guy just won't stand up in the position you'd like it, you can actually stick it on one of those little display stands. And I believe NECA, I can't remember the release date for them, but NECA is going to be releasing some actual proper stands for their figures, so you won't actually have to hunt down the old McFarlane ones or use the doll stands anymore, which is really nice. So keep a lookout for those. But yeah, articulation in the ankles, the knees, upper hip. I don't think there's any sort of waist articulation on this one. But then it has articulation in the shoulders, forwards, backwards. I don't believe that the arm flexes in and out at all. I'm trying to take a look. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it just rotates forwards and backwards. And then it does have articulation in the elbow on this side, and then in the wrist on a ball joint. And then on this side, it has sort of a loose plastic covering for the sleeve that's torn away here, exposing the bronze, the metal frame for the Patriot. And has articulation in the head on a ball joint. And you can actually get a fair amount of movement, which is kind of surprising because with the collar, it looks like it kind of inhibit a lot of the movement, but you can actually move it around quite nicely, which is pretty cool. So give you kind of a closer look here at the face. Very cool, very creepy. These were definitely, I think, one of the creepiest heavy hitters to go up against in Bioshock Infinite, because if you play it on a higher difficulty, these guys are very, very hard to take down. And it's really fun, though, because when you first approach them in the game, they're on display, and they're just kind of standing there looking like something out of the Hall of Presidents from Disney World. And when you come back a little later, these guys just break out of their cases and start attacking you. So it's very creepy to see that sort of, you know, animatronic Chuck E. Cheese vibe that's trying to kill you at the same time. So it's very fun, but it's very cool how NECA captured all the little cracks in the mask there, the missing eye, stuff like that. Looks very cool. I love the torn away, exposed the bronze elements there. Looks very, very cool. And the rest of it is very, very neat as well. It's got these sort of like the wheels on the side here. And then on the back, as you can see, it does come with these two flags. And when you get it out of the package, guys, I still got to pull all these off. There are these little fabrics that are on the flag, and they come right off, but it's one of those things where you kind of just got to pick them off slowly. But out of the box, aside from the damage that was put on here purposely, it's actually a really nice flag, and it's not fraying or anything, which is really nice, so you won't have to worry about it, you know, strings coming off while it's on display, aside from the ones that I'm pulling off now, which was from out of the package. Anyways, you put them on the back with these little pegs. They slip right in there. Ooh, if I can get it back in there. There we go. And it also has this really cool mechanism on the back. This doesn't spin, unfortunately. I thought that'd be kind of cool. But the little the lever, or the pulley kind of thing on the back there, which is neat. Did a great job with the detailing on his coat. Really, really love that. So, out of the box, comes like this. And he's actually got a fairly good weight to him. The one thing that I was really happy about, that I was kind of skeptic about, was whether or not he would stand up really well on display, especially because of the flags. I thought those would make him a little back heavy, but if you put him all together, like so, and you put the Gatling gun in his hand, and it takes some finagling to kind of get this to sit just right. You kind of gotta bend the arm over, to get it to hold just right. And if you want the hands to fully clasp the handles on this thing, you're going to have to heat up the plastic a little with a hairdryer or something like that to get it to fit in the hand. If you kind of just push it in there, it's snug enough that it's not going to tip over on display, which is nice. But if you just put him out like this, no display stand, nothing, it stands up perfectly. So it is absolutely massive, though. Really, really love the amount of detailing that they put on this guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the George Washington Patriot. If you have any questions about the figure, just leave them in the comments below, and feel free to check out my review on the Bioshock Infinite Series 1 set of figures from NECA. Those are also a fantastic addition to anybody's Bioshock collection. And yeah, NECA's just doing a fantastic job with this line so far, so I'm really excited to see what they release this year. But that's about it for this review. As always, thanks for watching.